Detroit has always been one of those cities that people reference in response to, you could say Motown, you could say the auto, but it's really the problems. Because that's where people will gravitate to and they'll fixate on those. As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman at the conference or at the happy hour last night who was just like, yeah, I heard Detroiters don't pay their water bills. And I'm like, no, why do you have to say that to me? Like, I don't know. But again, because that's what people lead with, the problems. No different than Chicago having their specific issues, and people always lead to that, but are never there for Chicago in the summer. It's beautiful. But that being said, prior to the Office of Digital Inclusion getting stood up in 2019, it was fragmented. And the city was not engaged in this work whatsoever. You had groups of nonprofits who would be able to spin up and then not really get the funding they needed, not get the traction, because there wasn't an anchor entity there that was actually able to ground the conversation in a real, tangible way and put some political leadership and muscle behind it. And so I think the best way to looking at it before, I would say it was well-intentioned, but fragmented. Now, all of a sudden, 2019, we create the Office of Digital Inclusion. We have a point person. We have someone who wakes up and goes to bed and their only job is to focus on the digital divide and bridging Detroit's digital divide. As a matter of fact, on my nightstand, I don't have it on there anymore, but I would actually have the statistics on the digital divide in Detroit. I'd wake up and go to bed with those things. I'm like, never to lose focus on that. And so having someone doing that, my whole goal at the very beginning was an awareness and building a table that was so big that everybody could sit at it under one goal of bridging Detroit's digital divide, period, which is, again, a counter to the fragmentation. Now we are a unified city on a unified front against a unified issue. And so the fact that we could do that is great. And what we're standing on top of, what people don't know, our open access plan and why we chose to do it, that came from community, it didn't come from the city. We are responding to the city, or to our residents, and the capacity that any city government would. But we have, within our broader collaborative that we built, Connect Everyone 3, the city, we're a founding member of that, has over 700 community organizations all part of this initiative, all committed to bridging Detroit's digital divide. There was a resident who said, the city should look at an open access network. We're like, okay. So they submitted a recommendation. We saw it and we said, yeah, good recommendation. Paid for a feasibility study. And then we actually said, yeah, this is feasible. Let's do it. And so it's really great to be able to say that in this big scaling of everything we're doing, we can still be responsive to community, and that community can guide us. And so community guided us to open access. So the community was there before us, and now the community is there with us. I think that's a really great way of looking at it.